MiniWarGamer Dave here from MiniWarGaming.com. Welcome, Wargamers, to a video where I'll be talking about the experience that I had with CerxiS and the table that we used to play in our game of Banter Batrep, a game of Warhammer 40k 7th edition. Why 7th edition? Well, because it's the best edition ever. Totally biased in saying that because it's the truth. That was my favorite edition, and that's the edition I wanted to play, and that's the one CerxiS agreed to. But I gotta say, I know why he wanted to battle me. It's because he wanted to do the one thing that he's never had a chance to do. So we needed a battlefield to appropriately lay out where we would be battling. His Alpha Legion versus my World Eaters. Now, the thing about his Alpha Legion is that every single one of his miniatures is converted to the 9s. And it combines Alpha Legion with you fill in the blank. Could be anything, because anything could be Alpha Legion. That's the nature of the Alpha Legion. They turn into and they infiltrate and they manipulate and they do just whatever they want to do. So we grabbed the Ruins of Perdition terrain set and we started to just assemble the table. And I thought it'd be really cool if the table itself could kind of reflect his army. And so as we can see here, the table turns from a desert board into the Ruins of Perdition, one turning into the other. So I thought that was pretty neat. But the other thing that I really liked about the Ruins of Perdition is that we set it up very quickly because all the pieces are magnetized. And so we had basically limitless options. And so we could just, like Lego, like Connects, we just like connected it all together. So it took no time to do it. But I gotta say, I know why he wanted to battle me. It's because he wanted to do the one thing that he's never had a chance to do. Because it's been many years since Deffy's actually been fielded in a game, let alone in a 7th edition Warhammer 40k game. So yeah, the moment he comes in, what does he do? Well, he pie plates a squad of dudes who are kind of inconsequential, and they certainly don't make up for his points cost. And then CerxiS goes and deep strikes, and doesn't scatter, by the way, for those of us who remember the deep striking mishap table. No, that was a direct hit. Obliterators just go right behind and then they shoot their shots, and that was a one-shot armor penetration, explode on the result, the thing that only I could provide an opportunity for him to actually experience. As a friend, I'm very glad that I was able to provide this opportunity for Mark to experience that. And if that was the only thing that he left with, I'm glad I could do that. You know, I'm going to have to get him back for that. You know, in fact, how do you think I should get him back for that? There's many ways that we can do this. Because in my opinion, there was a lot of skulls collected on the battlefield, so kind of corn won anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But it was that. I take that personally. He took out Deffy, and that's just unacceptable. In fact, that was the one target on his, like all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to kill your Deffy. As long as that happens, then it doesn't matter what else happens. Deffy is now dead. Way too much satisfaction. It was too much. No. See, that's what friends do. They kind of like rebalance the experience. We got to do something back to him now. So I look forward to reading the suggestions that you have. For those of you that know Mark, maybe you can suggest something a little more personal there, because him taking out Deffy was very personal. And the Eye of Terror will see all the ideas. But anyway, back to the game. To be fair, I don't really remember much else from the game. I was so scarred from that experience, and that was the thing that stands out most. I think Karn took out a Hellbrute, you know, and there's no spoilers, by the way. I'm not going to tell you who won or didn't in the end, because after all, this is a Banter Batrep. But I thought it appropriate to talk about this experience that I had with CerxiS, because I wanted to talk to you about the Ruins of Perdition. Because right now, what you can do is you can actually get this free miniature when you sign up for the pre-launch page, because we are physically producing the Ruins of Perdition right here in the MiniWarGaming Forge. But the biggest thing here is actually the compactness of the terrain set. Like, look at how small it can compact into a tray this size, and this is a full table's worth. So that's pretty nuts. I think that's very efficient, and I think that was a step in the right direction, especially when it comes to terrain and the experience on the tabletop and the storage afterwards, because we got to think about the practicality of how this is going to store. Is it just going to be permanently set up on a table? Well, that's impractical, especially if we're using this at home or even in gaming clubs. But does it nicely compact into a box this size? Yes, very efficient. There's also scattered terrain, and there's massive statues, and there's really cool aesthetic features to the terrain set. But in this case, the functionality of the terrain pieces, like the walls and the Gothic ruins and the platforms and all that, that alone looks super cool. I love the look of this stuff. Massive shout out to Greenleaf Terrain for painting it up in his iconic style to match the gaming boards that we've been using, that he's also constructed over the years. So I think it looks fantastic. And I'm excited to know your reaction to it as well. So links have been provided in the description below for the Ruins of Perdition campaign. You do get this free miniature by signing up to this pre-launch page. He is the governor. This is Governor Morthrax, for those who are curious. He thought it appropriate to make statues of himself and to, you know, kind of be the centerpieces of this terrain set. So the dude you see here on the tabletop is that specific dude. And incidentally, Matt is also making a narrative campaign to feature this character as well in the universe of a fan lore fiction of Warhammer 40k. So stay tuned for that. I'm MiniWarGamer Dave, and this has been my experience fighting Mark on this epic terrain table using the Ruins of Perdition terrain set.